Dennis Dixon has been fascinated with electronics ever since childhood. It all started when his mother gave him a walkie-talkie.
I broke it on my birthday, and I was like, oh man, I can't tell her that I broke it. So I was like, I'm gonna try to fix it. And I didn't know how to fix it, but I opened it up and I saw the inside, and it just caught me. And I've always been interested with electronics since then.
Soon, he became the go-to person for friends and family with broken electronics. His father began to notice his son's talent.
It was just like a hobby, like any other hobby. And he saw me doing it, and he was like, you know, you could do something with this. So he was like, let's post an ad and see what happens. And the phone just kept ringing. People kept calling, and I'd fix one phone, then two phones, then they would tell their friends.
Dennis felt God prompting him to open a full-time business, but took a job in sales instead and fixed phones for extra money. His dad taught him the importance of tithing on his income.
Tithing is you trusting God with what he's given you and honoring him, you know, 10% of the 100% that he gives us every day. Setting aside money for God, for his kingdom and for his purpose, and learning how to trust God with your fears, with everything you have, including finances.
That trust was put to the test when the large electronics store he worked for went bankrupt. Dennis and his mother lost their jobs at the same time. Soon after, they lost their car and then their house.
And I think from that moment, I realized that faith wasn't just a feeling, but it was a reaction. Like, how am I going to choose to respond to this? Am I going to panic, or am I going to continue to trust God? And I chose to continue to trust God. I chose to continue tithing, believing that he was going to take care of us. And I would actually go above and give offerings, just believing for God to, you know, do a miracle. I wasn't going to allow my circumstances to destroy my faith.
Dennis remembered God's prompting to start his business full-time, but didn't think he was ready.
My response was, if that's what you want for me, make it to where that's the only option I have.
While out looking for a job, Dennis noticed a retail space for rent. When he spoke with the owner, she offered him a lease that gave him free rent for several months for his fix-it-shop idea.
Man, I mean, it's all laid out for me, and I just chose to do what God had been telling me to do the whole time. Like he opened the door.
Soon, his fix-it business was up and thriving.
Since I've been tithing, I've just seen like a ridiculous favor that just doesn't make sense. I would just see God provide in ways that I know that in my wisdom or in my knowledge, I couldn't have made happen by myself. It's just favor.
Dennis tithes to his church and also became a CBN partner.
I count it an honor to be able to support an organization that is spreading the love of God to people in places that I can't necessarily be at as a business owner. They're on the front lines of ministry, meeting the needs of people all across the world, and that's a privilege to me.
His business continues to grow and bless him beyond what he ever thought possible.
God restored everything we lost, and then some, 100-fold. Like, I never would have thought that I'd end up here running my own company, making six figures. Every day it's a blessing, and I'm just grateful and thankful for it.
Don't you just love Dennis? Love what his life stands for. Love the opportunity that he saw and then he took. And here's just a wonderful quote. I just did what God told me to do. That is how simple it is, when you just do what God tells you to do. Now, for Dennis, it was a risk. It's a risk to start a business. It's a risk to be an entrepreneur. It's a risk, but I like to spell faith, R-I-S-K. When God tells you to do something, he's expecting you to do it. He's expecting you to take that first step. I also love what Dennis said. Faith is a reaction. You know, when bad things happen to you, how do you react? And I think this is a message for America today. Bad things are happening to us, and how are we going to react? Are we going to say that the end is near and it's time to fold up, or are we going to say, no, our God lives and he reigns and he's still on the throne? Let's move forward in him. Let's do what he tells us to do. When we do these things, here's a promise that will happen. Why will it happen? Because God watches over his word to perform it. Here is his promise for you. And all these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you because you obey the voice of the Lord your God. Don't worry about what others are doing for you. When you obey the voice of the Lord your God, then wonderful things can happen. For Dennis, here he is, he's unemployed, he's lost his car, he's lost his home. It's bad, but God shows him a way out, shows him an opportunity, and he says, yes, I'll obey what God is telling me to do. And then the blessings overtook him. They just were more than he could possibly imagine. God restored to him everything that was lost, and then some. He restored 100-fold. He'll do that for you. Why? Because he loves you. He wants to bless you. When you walk in obedience to his word, that's when these blessings overtake you. Now, January 2021, I want you to resolve that you're going to do this, that you're going to live life God's way. When you do it his way, then the wonderful promises come for you. If you want to start doing that, do what Dennis did. He joined the 700 Club. How much is it? Well, it's just $20 a month. That breaks out to 65 cents a day. Some of you can give at a higher level. We have 700 Club Gold for you at $40 a month. We also have 1,000 Club. That's $1,000 a year. That breaks out to $84 a month. At whatever level, when you call, please join Pledge Express. That's electronic monthly giving. The bank doing all the work, and we can send as our gift to you, Power for Life, monthly teaching CDs. So if you'd like those, ask for Pledge Express when you call, or you can go to cbn.com. When you give monthly on the internet, you automatically sign up for Pledge Express. We also have a new text to give where you text CBN, those letters, CBN, to 71777, and a monthly giving page will come up, and you can join Pledge Express that way. Either way, do it now. 1-800-700-7000.